Hello, Scorpio. Welcome to your reading. Let's manifest something very wise together, shall we? Starting with some tarot. I'll pull some other cards to clarify. Hope you're doing well. We're about halfway through the moon cycle. FYI. Some nice stargazing. Been out there lately. It's been nice and clear, so definitely get out there and check her out. Especially if you're in an area where you can do that. Sometimes I forget when I travel other places that it's not as easy to see the stars. So if you do live in an area where you can, definitely make the most of it. That's a way to connect with nature. You know, you don't have to get out and formally go on a walk or a hike. You can just step outside your front door, right, and look up, okay? Breathe in that air. Take some deep breaths. Especially as it's summertime comes, it's nice to kind of get some of that fresh evening air into your system, and then that kind of helps you release your tension through the day and kind of help you also get ready to drift into your, nighttime mode, okay? So, NyQuil, are you catching your Z's yet? I take my checks monthly. All right, first card that pops out, the moon. Since we've been yapping about the moon. Thanks to my hairdresser today for giving me some short curls for this very warm season we're already having. So I'm very grateful to be able to pull this off. Ace of Cups. Bam! Scorpio. Keep going here. Try and pull everybody. Judgment. That came out on the last reading that I did earlier today. So if this reading resonates with you, you may want to check that out because that was a general reading, whereas this is channeled for Scorpio rising. In the heart chakra, bam, the 5 of Swords, Scorpio. Well, I guess I can take these off now. We know it's Scorpio's reading. With the 5 of Swords. Like, I know they be lying to me. I know they're trying to pull something off. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay, we got it. 7 of Cups. Talky about choices, Scorpio. And you know what? This does not always mean bad choices. These could be an abundance of choices. Abundance came out in the last reading as well. And I was also channeling focus on Pentacles. So if you're somebody who's focusing on your Pentacles, Scorpio, and I know many of you are and do, and that's a trait that you like to work on, looks as though you may have some choices here to make. So, and then in the third eye, please, for the Scorpio, King of Wands. Fire energy, which I was thinking about doing a Leo reading, and so here out pops King of Wands, okay? In the third eye, so maybe somebody has their eye on you. Ooh. Yeah, and well, somebody definitely wants to put that crown upon your head, Scorpio, as if you're not wearing it already, right? You're like, yeah, I know how to decorate myself. We got it. You're Scorpio. Stand back and watch, right? But the thing is here, Scorpio, the first card being the strongest that came out, the moon card, you're a highly intuitive sign. You know when people are kind of messing with you, and if something doesn't feel right in your foundation, here in your base and your root chakra, like it's about to be revealed to you in this current energy. So any energy, and that's part of why I've been doing these reads, because there's been some heavier energies coming through. So that may be part of this moon cycle, and here is ready for you to reflect, okay? And then Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces, here you have the Ace of Cups. Yes. At the sacral. And so to me, this Ace of Cups at the sacral is more than just like, you know, the King of Wands energy is nice, but sometimes it's a little flighty, right? Whereas the Ace of Cups is more of a promissory nature, I want to say, or something that's more, I guess I want to say, like sincere or even wholesome. And you have the Judgment here in your solar plexus, which we'll have to get some clarity on that, but that's going to help guide you. So pay attention to your gut. So yeah, you know, because you know how it feels to be stabbed, like literally through your heart here, and maybe 5 times over, and it could be by some close people that you thought like had your back, and you're like, whoa, apparently not. So maybe that Judgment here is now guiding you and tilting you in the direction that's going to get you to open up and start trying new things, Scorpio. Not saying that you're a sign that likes to get into a rut, but, you know, you might be one of those like, well, nobody can tell me nothing kind of thing. Right? Well, I can see through this and I can see through that. Well, okay, but what if you just tried it for a minute and then see what happens, okay? And I think that's why this is coming through here in this third eye, this King of Wands. It's because it's kind of like surprising. So if you do have fire in your chart, you definitely might want to, this reading might resonate with you a little bit more than the rest of the collective. Especially with the Six of Wands energy. It's a very happy, lighthearted energy, considering both the Five of Swords and the Seven of Cups are here in the heart and the throat chakra. But I feel like maybe with this Judgment, like I said, this Judgment is going to guide and tilt you the direction that you need to be. So it's just kind of like that warm glow energy. You know, when you're just like, yeah, when somebody says like the warm and fuzzies, you know, it's like, oh yeah. And you can see this person is kind of surrounded by that glow, you know, and the moon saying, here, you're protected in this space. Okay. So the way it's going to be revealed to you in your root chakra, it's not going to be like a traumatic type experience, you know, like praise the Lord, right? Like, can I get an off day? Especially Scorpio, right? You know, can we not have like the tower appeared as a clarifier in the previous reading, FYI. And Scorpio is very familiar with that kind of like just constant like something, whereas this is a softer energy that's coming in to kind of, like I said, it's more wholesome. It's more like this universal love that's coming towards you, okay? And also that you, Scorpio, have been putting out, okay? Because, you know, maybe unbeknownst to other people, you know, maybe you're a big softie, or maybe you like to, you know, volunteer or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't always have to let the left hand know what the right hand is doing, do we? Sometimes that gets us into trouble here with this Five of Swords, right? Because then if some folks don't really know the whole story about us, then they think they can take advantage of us. And that's that straight to the heart, right? I'm hearing the Bon Jovi, the shot through the heart, and you ought to be blamed. I sang that song before. The local band. Kind of fun. Anyway, let's clarify here on these cards. I'm going to use the same deck, please. Wow. Okay. 8 of Wands. So coming quickly. And this message does feel kind of like lighthearted, swift moving, like, and it's I I don't want to say it's a flighty in and out energy, but it's not something that's like a heavy fog energy. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, so I can describe it right now. Ace of Cups, please, Spirit, for this collective. And, you know, if you're not resonating with this one, then maybe there's another message on the channel or another channel on YouTube for you. Ace of Cups, please, for these Scorpios. The Three of Pentacles, this came up in the last reading as well. And so I'm going to say definitely look at that reading, because the Three of Pentacles was a signal of love to come to you, okay, and how it's going to blossom. So definitely following the partnerships that are making you successful are going to, again, that universal love. It's like, it's almost like it's going to be spinning out of control, but like in a way that, you know, can literally be held in the palm of, you know, the hand here. Now, you know, maybe that comes in the shape of like a concrete fountain, you know what I mean? Because it's like actually going to be like this feels very plentiful that's coming through, Scorpio, okay? So this Judgment, it appears that it's, you know, favorable for you in the solar plexus. And to clarify, please, for this collective. The Knight of Wands. Wow. It's kind of interesting. Now, we did say something about this happening fairly quickly. So maybe this Knight of Wands is more of a messenger, kind of coming to, I don't want to say like trick your trigger or something, kind of as a catalyst, okay? I wouldn't necessarily look at this person as a love interest, although they could be symbolic of one, if that makes sense. But I'm not getting that necessarily coming through. So in this Five of Swords, please. And I've seen this before in readings where it's like, okay, so now I have the Knight of Wands and then the King of Wands is over here. It's almost like they're the messenger, you know what I mean? So the Queen of Swords, yeah. So you're giving the cold shoulder to anybody who's not going to, you know, respect your time of day, basically, right? So that's this Queen of Swords energy. So this may be more geared towards a feminine, actually. And Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, you may have that in your Venus placement, perhaps. What is in this throat chakra, to clarify, please, for these Scorpios on the Seven of Cups? That Queen of Pentacles wanted to come over. So again, thinking of the Seven of Cups as abundance of choices where you're going to be successful, okay? Just like a Queen of Pentacles would be. Now, High Priestess. Again, this came out in the previous reading. So these are definitely running themes right now. So speaking on things that bring you happiness, speaking on things that bring you truth and honor in this High Priestess mode. Again, it's gonna come easily because the Queen of Swords is behind you here in the heart chakra. So it's gonna be, it's that way of tilting you towards making the right decision. So the Queen of Swords isn't going to let you make any decisions where, you know, you're going to be lied to, you know what I mean? Like choosing these, you know, business partners and such. You're going to have your wits about you, and you're going to be able to share as needed that knowledge. You don't have to speak on it all the time. And that's the thing with the High Priestess, is like her presence is known. Yeah, it was just a... Anyway, clarifying the King of Wands. It's a clarification I heard over on these rain sounds that are played on the main screen. So I got some meditative Zen mode going on in here. It's so like kind of steamy outside. King of Wands. Ooh, Ace of Swords. So you're definitely going to see the truth of the situation, especially if this does involve a King of Wands. Again, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. This may resonate with you more. Especially if that's in your Venus placement. I mean, there's also somebody that could be trying to come in and tell you some truth about a King of Wands, but I feel like that's too karmic-y of an energy to interpret, so I don't feel like it's, I don't know, almost like, more like if somebody came in that's a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, and they're like, well, hey, actually, no, that King of Wands that you're seeing right now, you know, that you've visualized in your third eye and you've now manifested, you know, like say you're in a relationship, you know, with a King of Wands, and then, you know, somebody with this Ace of Swords, well, actually, no, you need to be doing this. Well, but the truth of the matter is you've already potentially created this vision, Scorpio, which is celebratory in nature. So it's up to you to decide, okay, how to interpret this truth. Like, somebody else might not be happy about it, and that might be their truth. Okay, so just because it's the truth of their feelings doesn't mean that they're right and you're wrong, or vice versa. You know, anyone can have an opinion about anything, right? It doesn't mean an opinion or feeling or thought. It doesn't mean that has to change your course of action, and vice versa. So just keep that in mind. That's kind of the message that I'm getting here. And the Six of Wands, please, for the Scorpio collective. Queen of Cups wanted to pop out. But one more time down. Go. Thank you. I like to try and keep the cards clean. Nine of Cups. Yeah. Scorpio, I feel like you're pretty satisfied here. And that's coming through. You feel very protected here with this Queen of Swords energy, even after this Five of Swords, this kind of betrayal. And again, you're really being guided from, you know, your spirit team on this judgment. And maybe that's what this Knight of Wands is. It's more like, you know, trust in that fire is beneath you and guiding you, right? And that's why you're marching towards, you know, say this King of Wands in your third eye, okay? And this, you know, male or female energy, but, you know, for right now, I feel like is actually a masculine energy there. And this Ace of Swords could be, I'm reading that as like a competitive type of energy. Yeah, and here's the Knight of Swords on the bottom. So it could definitely be something of that nature. Or it also could be, the second interpretation I'm getting now, is that this King of Wands is maybe atypical, whereas, you know, a lot of people might want to interpret fire signs as flighty or flirty or not very serious. Like, you can actually see, like, what you see is what you're getting here with this Ace of Swords. So, like, you can actually count on that person to be telling the truth when they even open their mouth. Whereas a lot of people today, that is very difficult to, you know, discern, especially if you don't know somebody very well. A lot of people are very good at lying and hiding. And that's the thing with Scorpios. It's very difficult to get things past us. And then people want to say, oh, you're this moody Scorpio. Well, no, actually, I just am looking at you like, why do you even think you can get that past me? Because, right, why would you try and lie to somebody who has an intuitive nature? But people try it all the time. And sometimes the thing is, it's like, it's not even really intuition, it's just common sense. And people forget that other people like have all of our senses that we are able to tap into. So think about that, Scorpio, in this Seven of Cups energy here, that there might be senses that you haven't even tapped into yet beyond you. And that's why things, maybe haven't been making sense. And it's like, well, maybe it's because I haven't been connecting in the right spaces. And with this King of Wands and the Six of Wands coming up, it's like you're going to get past this hump of this confusion, these lies, this needing protection to begin with. It's like life is not supposed to be that difficult all the time. Yes, we're supposed to have some struggles. Not everything is going to be easy peasy. But living under the threat of attack daily is not always super fun, right, Scorpio? So even though the Scorpio is ready with their stinger. Mercury retrograde may have been affecting some people. I'm gonna go ahead and just pull immunology. So that's where I've been kind of focusing. Citrine here for your solar plexus may be significant for you, especially with this Judgment card. And, don't be surprised if you come across some changes that happen quickly. And the thing is, not all changes are bad changes. Maybe they're like very good changes. Like maybe it's getting you out of a bad situation quickly. And you're like, wow, like that just totally, lifted, my worry or obligation or whatnot. The dog parked like right behind me, so I almost like ran over her with my chair. Picking up these cards. She just has to be like right here on top of me. I swear if she was a smaller dog, she'd be underneath, by the feet. Okay, so Moonology, please, Spirit, for these Scorpios, the Scorpio collective for this reading. Overall, I feel like it's pretty good. Scorpio, just be aware of some competitive energy that might be trying to break through. And keeping your focus and letting your guides come through on this judgment. You have like a definite team behind you here. So what does the Moonology deck want to say to the Scorpio collective to help us? Thank you. And the High Priestess here too. I mean, that's just okay. The end of a tough cycle approaches. This came out in the last read. Let's keep going. Sometimes these cards stick together a little bit. It's the only thing I don't like about this deck as much as many others. Emotions are running high. Supermoon. Yeah, so I mean, does it feel good to have to question, people that you thought you trusted, right? Or you did trust and then they betrayed you? Yeah, then does that get into our emotions? Sure. But that could be the end of this tough cycle where it's saying here, get ready to make another choice, because even though there's snakes in the grass, you have all these other cups to choose from. Okay. And, Spirit's even offering you this disguise here almost, because the thing is, people aren't going to recognize you when you make better decisions for yourself. Okay. And that's part of when this struggle comes through. It's like some people don't like to see you change. And that could be part of the emotions of it, but keeping kind of your wits about you again, and just knowing that you're doing this for your best good. And, obviously if people don't see your best good, then are those people really your friends? This is not the rock, this is the, the basic stuff that they teach you in grade school that, unfortunately for some of us in life has to repeat over and over again, because we do encounter different kinds of people in our life that think they can come and control us. They think they can run our lives. They think all sorts of things. But what they cannot think is what you are. You are a unique individual. You are your own person, as they should be. So just keep that in mind, Scorpios, especially if you're, you know, in the middle of, you know, I want to say like karmic situations, you know, familial type situations, things of that nature that are a little bit harder to navigate because of those emotional ties, okay? It's time to take action, new moon in Aries. So there will be a new moon after, you know, we hit this full moon and everything. So fire, Aries, King of Wands energy could be significant. The Eight of Wands coming through here, clarifying at the root. So this time to take action, just don't be surprised if you start getting some kind of messages. You know, it might be kind of like coming out of the woodwork style with this Knight of Wands where it's very fast. Okay. One more, please. Yeah. And again, at the crown, you have the Six of Wands with the Nine of Cups. So nothing will come of this situation void of course moon. That's an interesting message that came through. I feel like this cutoff energy that you have here, you know, connected to the Queen of Swords with this Five of Swords is very strong. So I don't feel like you're going to get any interference, okay, with this heart chakra. Like, and it's not, and so the emotions running high, yeah, like it might be kind of emotional, you know, talking about some things, but, you know, the resolution is not going to be with loose ends, okay? So it's going to be like, you know, that clean cut when, you know, when you get your stitches and now it's, you know, now it's healed. It might not look exactly the same, but it's still, you're still functioning, right? So nothing will come of this situation. Nothing's going to come of, because you've already are in the process of the healing here, especially, you know, receiving this Ace of Cups here down in your sacral chakra, okay? So once you're already kind of healed, it's like, yeah, somebody can kind of try and come in and stab you in the back, but you're like, well, excuse me, actually, I'm not going for that now. So that's why the Queen of Swords is like, nothing's going to come of that. You know, move on down the line. And that's where you have this Seven of Cups. And sometimes maybe it's this other person that like kind of has to be in this snaky energy, sneaking around. And it's like, you know what? I don't even have to look at this. I'm going to put this mask on and not even look at you sneaking around here because you're going to finally get out of my way. And then I'm going to have all these cups to choose from. Okay. So Scorpio, one last please for Scorpio. Scorpio. Time to take action, Scorpio. Is that going to be the name of this video? I don't know. Time to take a nap. Bring love into the situation, new moon in Aquarius. So here's some of that Aquarian energy that came through with the Ace of Swords. Queen of Swords also. The Lovers did come out in the previous reading. It is a general reading, and the Two of Cups. So if this is resonating with you, especially in where this third eye is, and maybe this bringing love into the situation is kind of one of these like saying things nicely. You know, like you don't have to be cruel about it. You don't have to be mean about it. You know, that's why even though this truth is here, there's the water here is here to clean and cleanse and kind of clear out anything that is residual. Okay. So keep this in mind as you approach your situation, all right, as you communicate. It's interesting. Now I have to take a drink. My throat literally like dried up. Like, you know what I'm saying? All right, Scorpio. I hope you enjoyed this reading. Please subscribe, drop a comment if this resonates with you, and like the video. Until we meet again, please manifest wisely.